Today we're on Lake Texoma surveying our blue catfish population. The way that we do that is utilizing electrofishing as a technique to collect large amounts of blue catfish, and it gives us an estimate of the population size and overall condition of the fishery. We do blue cat surveys about once every 3 to 4 years. It's not a survey that we conduct every single year, so usually every 3 or 4 years we'll come out and do this sampling. The sampling strategy that we have is utilizing random points throughout the lake. So we have a grid of points. We randomly select locations on the lake in the upper half, the upper 50% of the reservoir, and that's how we choose our sites. We'll sample a minimum of 18 sites on a lake the size of Texoma. One of the interesting things about this type of sampling is because we're using electrofishing, we're using a low frequency pulse, and so what that does is it spreads out and travels through the water a long way. So we'll have these blue catfish, channel cats, as well as flatheads. They'll come up anywhere within a 100-yard radius of the boat, and so it'd be difficult for one boat to come out and actually collect all those fish. So what we utilize when we're sampling our catfish is we'll utilize 2 additional chase boats. That's when we start calling it the catfish rodeo, because these boats are running around all over the place trying to gather up these fish that are on the surface of the water, while the shocking boat is actually staying fairly stationary. We have 2 additional boats going around trying to catch these fish. Yeah, Lake Texoma really is a premier world-class blue cat lake. We have a lot of large fish in the lake. We formerly had the world record blue catfish was from this reservoir several years ago, so we see a lot of really big fish. The last several years ago when we were out sampling, we had a fish that was just 1 inch shy of the state record, somewhere between 85 and 90 pounds, blue catfish. So this lake really does produce large blues, and we see a lot of them when we're out doing our sampling. We have a regulation, fishing regulation now, that protects some of our larger catfish. And that regulation only allows 1 fish over 30 inches per day. Now, the reason that we came up with 30 inches was from research done several years ago, which showed that these fish, that once they reach 30 inches, they're typically going to be between 13 and 15 years old on a statewide average. Here in Lake Texoma, they're on the short end of that range, 12 to 13 years on average. So that's obviously a really old fish and a rare fish, and so it's something that we want to protect when we try to manage this resource to make sure that we're protecting some of these really old, large individuals.
We're going to slide her down, I think.
Grab the wood handles and put it on there. 60-something pounds, it's hard to say. The large fish that we had today, it would be hard to estimate how old that fish was. We have seen fish, we've aged fish larger than that out of Lake Texoma that were in the 70-pound range. The fish that I know that we've aged before was 19 years old. So I'm going to say that that fish was probably between 15 and 18 years of age would be my best guess. But growth rates are not uniform. Some individuals grow much faster, some individuals actually will grow slow, and so it's hard to predict, but my best guess would be somewhere in that range. We're trying to look for trends. That's why we do this at regular intervals, is we're looking for trends in the data. Are the numbers of blue catfish over 30 inches, which we're trying to protect with our regulation, are those numbers increasing or are those numbers decreasing over time? And that gives us a gauge of whether or not that regulation is being effective. It also gives us, as we look at the size distribution of the fish, how many small ones versus how many large ones. That can also oftentimes give us an indication of how well the fish have spawned and how strong certain year classes are throughout the years. And so that's one of the things that we can do to monitor. We can also look at the condition of the fish, how fat it is for its particular length group, what we call relative weight, but basically it's the overall health of the fish. And that's also an indicator of how well the fish are feeding, how good the environmental conditions are, as well as the quality of the forage base in the reservoir.
Scale still on. 32.8.